the Women Farmers Advancement Network marked the 2025 International Women's Day with a large-scale initiative aimed at transforming the livelihoods of 54,000 underserved women in agro-produce marketing across 9 states. The initiative, which supports widows and street food vendors in Kano, seeks to bridge gaps in the agricultural value chain by providing essential resources and fostering financial inclusion. Country Director of the World Fund Icon 2 project, Dr. Salamatu Garba, emphasized the need for tangible actions to uplift women. Well, she's talking about girls and women. Despite the growing role of women in driving Nigeria's economy, many Nigerian women still face significant barriers to accessing financial resources and participating fully in the economy. Now, to shed more light on what will happen when women are financially literate and empowered, is an entrepreneur, Ijeoma Emeribe. You're welcome to Business Express.
Thank you.
Well, beautiful. Well, the theme for this year is for all women and girls, rights, equality, and empowerment for advancing women's rights. What do you make of this particular theme? And just take us through your own experience with, women development rather in the country.
Okay, thank you so much. It's not like it's something that we have not been talking about. We have been talking about it, but sometimes the more we talk about it and then we are not seeing those things being implemented, it kind of makes it look as if nothing is actually happening. For instance, you just talked about the loan. You understand? There are a lot of women that have been empowered through training. Some of them went through training, different kinds of training, maybe tailoring and all those stuff. But after that, when they come out, you understand, with their certificate, they don't have the money to start. And you're talking about the loan stuff. Most times when they go to all these financial institutions to get the loan, sometimes the interest rate is so high, and sometimes there are things that they need to bring like collateral which they do not have. And sometimes you find out that they become frustrated in the process and they just go back and just remain where they are. So that has always been a problem. You know, women trying to get money to start up a business has always been a problem. And also,
but wouldn't you say there's other areas that you've actually recorded successes, like empowerment? What do you make of the federal government's efforts in trying to see how they can partner with women associations and somehow explore opportunities to see how they can be, members that, bring so much to the table when it comes to economic development?
All right. I think that Women Africa started 2016. And throughout that period, we've been doing empowerment. I remember one of those empowerment a program we had in Lagos at the Civic Center. I think the First Lady was actually in that program too. And we found out that in agriculture, they were actually doing well, just like if it's possible for most of us that are working with people. You know, NGO is working with people. So if we are able to identify these people that actually need this help, and they are into agriculture, they are into cloth making and all these things, and then we are able to come together and sit, not with third parties, because the problem used to always be third parties. If the government is actually wanting us, like people that have worked in this sector, for all this while, to come together and sit with them, and then let us tell them what we have been able to, the experience we've been able to gather. Like I know that there was a time we gave some women 300,000. Some of them went into agriculture and they were doing actually well. And why do we do that? We do that so
Well,
that
you've not talked about how well they are doing. You said that most of the issue is about access to capital. Now you've just mentioned
that
a
is not
success story.
most of those ones is not like they gave them loan.
Okay.
It's just people that like us that were into interacting with them. You understand? We are able to say, okay, we want to pull us so and so amount of money and give to maybe 100 women. Let's see how they can make up. But I'm not saying like when we are talking about financial institution, I mean getting the loan. You understand? Getting the loan from maybe the bank or wherever the government has.
So they seem to have problem with
they have
accessing
problems
capital.
there. So most times we try to do all these things ourselves, maybe get one or two things that we have to support these women, which is not supposed to be. So I'm like saying that if government can give us this opportunity to really, really come into this partnership, and a transparent one indeed, not just by saying it, because you can talk about policies that is going to favor the people and all these things. It could also be talked about or written in the papers, but not actually acting upon it.
So there are success stories, but
There
at
are
the same
success
time,
stories.
there are challenges of trying to, for medium, small.
Oh, sure. For every other thing, there's
there's
bound to be success story, and there's also bound to be failures. You understand? In every
definitely.
aspect of life.
Well, what about this? President Bola Tiniubu government has set an ambitious goal to empower 10 million women by 2027 as part of its broader strategy to transform Nigeria into a $1 trillion economy by 2030. How do you see this happening?
Oh, yes. I've said it here. His intentions may be wonderful, amazing plans, you understand? But how do we get this thing? That is, how do we get it to the grassroots? Not just people that I know. Or when people come, we say, okay, we begin to say, okay, this person is from here, this is from my side, and all those things. How do we work it out? It's not by saying, he has good intentions in him, may actually bring out all these things to make the life of a common Nigerian to be better.
So what do you think they should be done to actually actualize this? This we said is on paper. How do you think, what's the best way to actualize this? I mean, this particular vision.
Okay, I'll just give an example. Like some time ago, I was invited to talk about how to get funding from international, to get international funding. But there was something I told them. I said, I'm not going to do that because Nigeria, we are rich. We have the money, we have everything. So if few people come together and say they want to raise funds for us to be, for the women to be empowered, they will do that. And I'm thanking God that is becoming a reality now. So for him to have come out to say he wants to empower this number of women is an amazing idea. But he also needs to look for those people that have passion. NGO, people can come up and do anything they want to do just because they want fundings from government or from foreign aid and all those stuff. But there are people that have passion. If they can come down and do their own search on NGOs that have passion for the people, and they are able to come into partnership with these people to identify the people that actually need this, I think it will be better for us.
Initially you talked about, difficulty in accessing capital. But what about the skill set? Don't you think that women still need the skill set to actually thrive when they have a combination of capital and skills?
And what makes you think that many of them have not gone through all this skills training? Most of them have.
Okay.
Most of them have actually done that, but they are only waiting for fundings to be able to start up their businesses.
Okay, what would you like to see this government do different from the previous, efforts that have been put in place?
Okay. The other time, I was in a program that was hosted by the former president's wife, and then they were actually showing all the things she has been doing, So I was wondering if I don't know what to really say, because I didn't see much different from what other women who are not in that level have been doing, have done, you understand, and were doing and are still doing. So I think I have heard about the tie and dye stuff, which is actually an amazing one, which means if we begin to do this, we produce these clothing in Nigeria, it's going to be our own success story too. So I think it's a good one, but I think that they should step up to interact, not third party. Sit with these people, I will say it again, people that have passion for the people that have concern for the people, not just because, oh, you know me, you just call me up to come and then take up a responsibility. No, it's not done like that. If we keep carrying anybody because we know them, it's not gonna work.
Okay.
Bring up
Thank
some,
you.
yeah,
Thank you
some
very
NGOs
much,
and put them together.
and
Yeah.
happy Women's Day to you.
Thank
Okay, Ijeoma Emeribe, it's a pleasure having you on the program.
Thank you.
Now, the Nigerian currency, the naira, lost more value against the United States dollar in the official market and also unofficial markets. Data from the Central Bank of Nigeria showed that the Nigerian foreign exchange market recorded a closing rate of 1,522 naira 78 kobo per dollar at the end of trading. Friday's exchange rate is 10 naira 23 kobo, or 0.75%, 3 depreciation for the naira. How much is the naira exchanging for other currencies? Let's see.